It's absolutely what it is. If you look at the fact that we have billionaires who have created companies now helping to clean up a bad economy, clean up a government where we don't have efficient spending, and run the country like they run their businesses, much like Donald Trump. That's why he's a billionaire. And then you have the other side, the Cash Patels, the Pete Hegseths, the people that they're hitting hard because they know they're going to come in, fire you, clean up, and make you be accountable. And that's where the pardons come in.
Besides all the bigotry that was tossed out, Trump's MAGA movement somehow convinced voters that he was interested in a populist agenda. And now that it's worked, they're out to convince Americans that collecting a huge group of multimillionaires and billionaires means that they suddenly give a damn about regular Americans.
How about billionaires, all right? How many Trump administration picks are billionaires? At least five are billionaires. I wish I was a billionaire. Here it is in photo form. You can see it on your screen. You know, you get folks like Elon Musk, well-known, Vivek Ramaswamy, well-known, Stephen Witkoff, who I actually know, well-known in New York circles for his real estate dealings. How about those on Fox News? It's not just Pete Hegseth, right? How about this? At least 11 Fox News hosts or contributors. Again, you just see, it's just so many names on here. My goodness gracious. Got 11 on here. And finally, how about Mar-a-Lago? You know, Trump administration picks who hosted or co-hosted events at Mar-a-Lago. Look at this number. It is 12, including those who co-hosted events at Mar-a-Lago. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 with Lee Zeldin. The bottom line is this, is that Trump is someone who feeds on people being loyal to him, and there's no greater sign of loyalty than hosting or co-hosting an event at Mar-a-Lago, and so that's what we got.
CNN or anyone else looking to send out warning signs of this administration's lack of history in supporting middle-class or working-class folks might even make supporters dig in even more.
Trump's second term is looking very much like a billionaire's playground. Yesterday, Trump picked former Georgia Senator Kelly Loeffler to run the Small Business Administration. Why pick Senator Loeffler for that role? Well, one big reason might be that Loeffler and her husband who literally owns the New York Stock Exchange, they collectively donated more than $5 million to Trump's reelection effort. And Loeffler is in good company. She is now the 9th major Trump donor to land a top spot in the new Trump administration. To put all of this in perspective, President Biden's cabinet had a net worth of about $120 million. Nothing to sneeze at, but $120 million. Just Kelly Loeffler and her husband alone are worth about $1.1 billion, and that is billion with a B. If you just count positions that need Senate confirmation, Trump's cabinet is worth about $10 billion.
You know, before Donald Trump ever even entered politics, we've been convinced that the richer someone is, the more accomplished and intelligent that they are. We put them on a pedestal of superiority when it comes to business sense and money-making tactics, you know, but completely refusing to acknowledge just how many ultra-wealthy people survive and thrive off the backs of the people that they work very hard to keep down.
Donald Trump is putting a record number of billionaires in his cabinet because the only thing that's going to happen when Donald Trump is president is that billionaires are going to steal from the rest of us. Like, that's what the Trump administration is going to be. A massive tax cut for billionaires and millionaires, the wholesale turnover of government to benefit billionaires, while the rest of us get screwed. Higher taxes, higher prices for regular Americans, less consumer protections, all so that the billionaires who are in Donald Trump's cabinet and all their other billionaire friends can make even more money. It's not a coincidence that Donald Trump is putting all of these super rich people in his cabinet, people that aren't really qualified to run these agencies, but people who know that if they control the government, they can make even more money.
Democratic Senator Chris Murphy's warnings and explanations behind them is exactly what fed the narrative from Trump, saying that anyone that calls him out or calls out his extreme failures in areas that gives him clout, they must hate America. The only way to change minds at this point is for the people that they trust to implement the policies that fly in the face of their populism.
If you include roles that don't require Senate confirmation, like Elon Musk's role leading the Department of Government Efficiency, if you include those positions, well, the net worth of Trump's cabinet skyrockets to more than $340 billion. Donald Trump is setting up a government quite literally run by billionaires.
No one's stopping to ask why Elon Musk is suddenly a darling of MAGA. No questions about why his detonation of Twitter's worth rivals Trump's laundry list of business failures. Many have been told that facts and history are offensive when they're put up against his bluster and partisan tribalism. So citing data is seen simply as being a hater.
Look, we're going to find room where we can work together, of course, over the next 2 years with our Republican colleagues. But let's be honest about DOGE and this whole thing. It's a joke. We're talking about two billionaires who are cosplaying as government officials, not an actual department of this government. It's an X account right now. And here's my thing. I'm all for making our government more efficient. But we got to look at the proposition here. The proposition of these two guys is that to make the government more efficient, we got to fire a bunch of people and take away a bunch of funding. And that lack of nuance and actually providing real oversight on how we can make the government work in a better way shows me firsthand that they're not coming at this on the right foot and not coming at it from the right place.
Just like the discussion about tariffs when Musk and Ramaswamy pitched their goals for the DOGE agency, any analysis of their proposed plans obviously accomplishes the goal of extorting even more money and opportunities from taxpayers that aren't worth millions and billions of dollars. But since they campaign so diligently on the promise of lifting America to economic heights that we've never seen, based on the lie that the economy isn't already doing well, some Democrats' strategy is to call their bluff and make them live up to their promises, hoping that they'll be forced to work for the people that they've always exploited.
Well, ultimately, they're going to provide recommendations. It's Congress that appropriates money. Let me provide an area where there could be bipartisan collaboration. I mean, the defense budget, which is nearly $1 trillion, is dominated by 5 primes. There has been tremendous reporting about the waste, fraud, and abuse in that budget. The Pentagon hasn't passed an audit and has failed the last 6 or 7 audits. So if they go to say there needs to be more open competition, not the monopolization in defense contractors, and propose recommendations, that's something that I think could be supported. If they find areas of truly wasteful spending across the government, they would get support.
Now, I assume that Representative Ro Khanna figures that they can't claim that they're fighting for the common man if they continuously refuse to support initiatives and cost-saving ideas that do just that. And since they have control of the government and all the consequences that come with their decisions, there'll be no one else to blame if they do actually follow through on screwing over their voters for the sake of the billionaire class that will reside in the White House in record numbers.
Hey, it's Congressman Robert Garcia, and I'm here to talk today about how Donald Trump and his billionaire friends are trying to gut the government, roll back services, and take away benefits from hardworking Americans. And they want to start by dismantling important agencies like the Department of Education that provides essential services for students, but especially students with disabilities. They also want to make sure that they are out there attacking the services that people need, whether it's veterans' health, whether it's Medicare, whether it's Social Security. These are critical for Americans across the country.